Hello, I'm Zak, the VP of Story at Telltale Games.
And I'm Frost, Game Director here at Deck 9, working on the Expanse, a Telltale series. Today, we're going to be walking through some gameplay, and I'm super excited to show you what we've been working on. So here we see Drummer mag booting in and exploring the remains of this destroyed ship, and we see what has happened to the crew here.
Oof.
Savagely taken down.
Was that a headless crew member?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There are quite a few in here. And in fact, you can find those severed floating heads inside the bridge when you're exploring in the game here.
Day in the life of a scavenger in the belt.
Yeah, not pretty. And the results of this are from a group of pirates that have shot down this UNN ship. They managed to kill and capture most of the crew. And what you're seeing here is what has been left over.
That's right.
So we were hoping to find something in here, and what we found is death.
And Drummer's not the only person in her crew scavenging. We just got a call. Another crew member, Rayan,
That's right.
is in dire circumstances, so the player is navigating through and trying to get to Rayan as quickly as they can.
So you'll notice, this is a Telltale game, so we're really trying to lean into the character-first storytelling, and we also wanted to expand it a bit and make sure that when we're exploring, we're using things like zero-G, and then we also have these cinematics that you've come to know and love from, Deck 9's history in making narrative games, and trying to have that Telltale feel to it, that when we're finding these things, we're seamlessly blending them.
Right. And a part of that also is going to include really difficult choices,
Yeah.
which I think Drummer's about to face.
Yeah, so what we're seeing here is a huge amount of cargo supplies within this vault that's contained to the side, or is pulled to the side of the ship.
So that's like super important, super valuable for scavengers. Whatever's in that box is like months of something.
It's oxygen, it's food, it's munitions. It's things that the reason you're out here, it's finding those supplies.
Right.
So we can cut off his leg and keep it, or in this case, we can push the vault out and lose the supplies, but at least Rayan gets to keep his leg.
I love that we tell you that Rayan will remember that. I'm pretty sure Rayan will remember.
Yeah.
You just jettisoned a bunch of supplies to save him.
Not only will Rayan remember that, but the crew will too.
Yeah.
So
How far out do the consequences of the choices play throughout the story? Like, this could be the very beginning of the game. Are we going to see consequences for that?
yeah, this will
All the
carry
way-
through
yeah.
the entirety of the game. This will affect the ending. So these choices are very important, and they not only affect this character, but it affects the plot, the story, going forward.
Right, and the rest of the crew. And in Drummer's mag boots, as it were, you have to care about the kind of alchemy, the politics of everyone involved that's on your ship.
That's right. So in this case, Cox, our captain, is really upset that we just lost that haul.
Right.
And so is his brother, Arlen, who's kind of disappointed into
Nice.
what's happened here. So that's the results of what we're seeing. But then Maya appreciates and says, this is the right call, Cap. The Expanse is all about gray. And, a situation like this, there's an upside and there's a downside to both decisions. So here we get to see a little bit more of the exploration side of things. As the door is opening, we are revealing to the player there's this huge amount of space to cover and explore.
It's amazing. We have low-key Jupiter in the background. It's incredible.
No big deal.
But for the genre, for narrative adventure, to be able to move across 3 axes in a space this large is so cool.
It's a lot of fun. It also allows us to continue the storytelling by interacting with things in the environment. So we're jumping from different parts of ship remains. We're finding things in the environment, and our crew is commenting on the things that we're finding.
I love that. So every part of the gameplay, the exploration, the object discovery and acquisition, it's always going to come back to character.
It comes back to character, and it's so important, in fact, in the exploration that there are items that will completely shift your relationship with characters if you find them and bring them back to the crew.
So do you think the right way to play, if there is a right way to play, is to really try to find stuff hidden away?
Oh, absolutely. Because there are items that affect the rapport and relationship and affect the ending of the game. Right? These things carry through. So exploration in this space with this cool zero-G mechanic is really important to the storytelling and it's just fun.
I think that's so cool because you've made scavenging actually matter to the core narrative as it unfolds.
Right. It's part of your day job. It's part of the fantasy of being out here.
So, side note, that blood streak is crazy.
Yeah, this is sort of our way in to tell the player, hey, there's something in here. and you find a lot of the remains. There's also collectibles in this room that if you scavenge hard enough, you'll find them. We also have items that you can find in the world that give you more detail about what happened here, whether it's radio logs or you'll get mission logs, things like that.
I think that's one of my favorite parts of the game is that the narrative there is a core narrative. There's a very cinematic central story, but so much story comes out of the player's agency, choosing where to go, what to see, how to interact with the world. Really feels like you're in Drummer's shoes.
In this scene, we're finding that we can't get into the captain's quarters and we need to find a hand to scan in here.
Oof.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun mission to go out and locate the right hand.
Might be difficult to get his body back to the door, though.
Don't need all of him.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Then we're back into it. Here we're meeting Maya for the first time. Maya is an ex-Martian. She's a defector from the MCRN, and she's been in the belt for a few months, but she's adapting pretty well, but she's still kind of learning. And we have a little bit of a friendly competition. She's strong, she's smart, and so we're about to get into a little bit of a sparring match here.
I love it as much as Maya's a newcomer to maybe the scavenging life. She can definitely keep Drummer on her toes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's sort of a surprise that Drummer can get attached to somebody who's not from the belt, right? She's from,
Oh yeah.
she's an inner.
Anyone who knows her from the show would I think be curious exactly about how that works.
Well, she's also, in the show, she works for Fred Johnson, who is a former inner. So it's not completely out of her realm of working with people who are not like this. I love this moment because we just cut thrust. And it means that the 0G moment, Maya takes advantage of it. And we see her, again, beginning to adapt here. And I don't think Drummer minds.
I think she's a little impressed.
Yeah. So from this moment, and I love this shot because we have Maya going down to the floor
Yeah.
and Drummer on the ceiling, as it were. There is no up and down, technically, but it feels pretty awesome.
Yeah. And that was Maya's first victory.
Yeah. So, yeah, whether or not that was 100% earned or not, we'll leave it up to the player to discern. But yeah, this is a fun introduction to the character and using our environment here with this great universe that's been created by Ty and Daniel that allowed us to kind of explore this relationship in a totally different way than you would. I call this a beat cute, by the way.
Yeah.
Not a meet cute.
First time you meet someone that maybe you're interested in that also maybe involves a beatdown.
Yeah, a beat
Yeah,
cute.
we've all been there.
It's not catching on, if I'm honest. I've been pitching it a lot. Nobody wants to call it that.
Yet another incredible shot of space, debris, blown up ships.
Yep. And then we get to see Io here. Maya's kind of nerding out on the fact that it's not having a crazy amount of volcanic activity. It's kind of in plain sight. And this is fascinating to her because she doesn't get to see stuff like this every day. For Drummer, though.
Right. This is day to day. Maybe this is even all she's known.
Yes.
I think it's interesting that for us, space was spectacular and cool. For Drummer, maybe a little bit normal. And then we get to see Drummer through Maya's eyes and look at it a different way.
Yeah. And you can look at it from the perspective of somebody who has felt oppressed by the Inners and the UNN and Earthers who've taken over something like that moon, claimed it as their own and used those resources, sent them back to Earth. Someone like Drummer is an awesome character to work with. And we're super excited to show you guys what she's like in the game.
Thank you so much for watching.
On behalf of the entire team, we are super excited for you to check out The Expanse, a Telltale series coming out very soon.